35,000.
They better get the strip. One of the guys that my brother went to high school with,
Hey, they got a lot of late stuff.
has 35,000 sticks down right now, and they're working on stripping it up, trying to get it ready to go to market. They actually had to go to market today, so I guess they left their guys stripping while they went to town to sell.
They had to make room.
When the weather's not so bad outside, we'll just hop on the tractor, go scatter them, and come back. Now that it's such a mess out there, this thing weighs more than that tractor does.
It's got like a conveyor belt down here.
It's a floor chain. It's got slats. There's a gearbox back here that drives it at low speed toward the beaters. The beaters toss it out the back. Heavy bodied, and leaves near up the top, they don't get as much of that. But this year it turned cold faster. We were running late anyway, and it turned cold, so it set that green color. And that's undesirable at all. If you were to smoke that, it would taste terrible. Yeah. But the quality's just not there. I mean, it would taste terrible. They have no need for it. If we were in a situation where the supply was shorter than demand, or if the demand was higher than supply, you might be able to do something with it. But right now, supply far exceeds demand.
I mean, there's a couple good leaves in there, maybe, huh? Or is it just all?
Well, that's what we were debating on, whether we could strip this and salvage a couple of leaves. But even them, once you flip them over on the back side, they got that same green color. And I was down there this morning selling a bale, and that's exactly what the buyer did. He pulled a leaf out of my bale, he flipped it over and shook his head. And I didn't have very much of it in there, so it got through, but if we put that in the bale, it'd be a no-go. Some of what's on the front of this load here was on the north end of that barn, and that cold air come from the north and greened it. My barn's not actually finished. There's no siding on that end. There's no doors. We were in a hustle. We had a contractor come in and put the roof on it the same day we were putting sticks in the field to start cutting.
Wow.
So we just barely got a roof on it in time to put the tobacco in it. Right after we got the roof on it, it rained for 2 weeks.
So that pretty much saved your tobacco putting it in there then, huh?
Well, we got it in the barn, and most of it's decent. What you see here, there's a little bit of it that's got that green look to it, but we did the best we could given the circumstance.
So how much do these sticks with the plants, the dried plants on them?
We put 6 plants on a stick. When it goes in the barn, it can weigh up to 50 or 60 pounds, just big tobacco. And by the time we strip that out, you might get 2 pound a leaf. In that hoist barn, the green weight is less of a concern because I'm going to let that machine winch that stuff up in the top of that barn. But all the rest of our barns are conventional barns. Some of them date back 100 plus years, and you still got to do it the hard way.
So there's 100-year barns out here.
There's one next door here that was built when my dad was a small boy, built in the 50s.
Still standing.
Oh yeah, we just took it down a few weeks ago.
Really?
We have to do a little repair on it every once in a while. After that big wind come through here with Hurricane Ike, we had to do a lot of barn repair. But we got them all patched back up and built them up.
So they're really hustling over there.
They get paid by the stick. That guy that's kicking them off is responsible for keeping count. And when he reaches 50, we tie those sticks in what's called a bundle. And we'll put that bundle of sticks underneath that wagon. And at the end of the day, when those people finish, we'll see how many bundles of sticks they have, and that's how much they'll get paid. So if they need to go take a break, they can. If they don't want to and they really want to make some money, they can. It's up to them.
So doing the actual stripping, is it pretty hard on the hands, or?
Most of them wear gloves. My mother never did. When I was a kid, I can remember my mom's hands were always cracked open, bleeding. This used to be a mainly family enterprise, but as we've expanded our operation and as we've gotten older and gotten jobs, it's required more hired labor, and then we expanded more, and that required more labor, and it's kind of a snowball.
So do you have to take a day off from work when you strip, or?
I work the swing shift, and today's one of my days off. I got to go in tomorrow, but I've got some good floor help here, and if they want to, I'm going to let them strip tomorrow.
I got a spreader, but you're okay.
So how much more do you have to strip?
About 3,500 to 3,700 sticks hanging in the cable barn, and I'll be finished. I've got 3 more loads over there that are down that we took down the other day. So this evening, when they get these wagons empty, I'll take these wagons back over there and pick up the full loads and bring them in here. And we found that if you put them wooden sticks in there, those wooden sticks will help wick that excess moisture out of them bales. And they're my dad's. And these bales that are in the front,
Look how much moisture's right there.
they were cured on one of them outside curing structures, and that weather damaged it to such an extent they won't bite. It's unusable. And there's 6 or 7 bales of it.
How much moisture blowed in here?
And there's no leak in this roof.
That's just coming from
This
there.
barn was built in the 50s. And when we put the tobacco in this barn, men will straddle these tier rails. And someone else will stand over here on the ground and pass one stick at a time, 35 to 50 pounds up to the top of this barn, and they'll lay the stick across the tier rail and spread the plants out, kind of like these ones behind you here.
What's the deal with them?
They had fat stems and frozen stalks, and we're going to see if we can dry them out, and it didn't work. They're probably going to end up in the spreader.
Let's go.
When those men cut this tobacco, they use a hatchet-looking device, cut it off the ground level, and then they spear it on that stick. All tobacco in this area is burley tobacco. And it's burley tobacco, number 1, because of the variety of plant that we put in the ground, and number 2, because of the way that we handle it. Stalk cutting, stalk curing with natural air. In Kentucky, there's several different types of tobacco grown. If you go down around the western part of the state, you're going to find a dark tobacco. The plant is darker when it's growing in the field, and when those guys begin to harvest, they'll cut it, but not spear it right away. It breaks up too easily. So they'll cut it and lay it on the ground, and they'll let it wilt for a short period of time until it's limp, and then they'll spear it on the stick and hurry it to the shade. It sunburns real easily, and that dark tobacco is what they make snuff out of.
So what's the name of that variety?
It's called dark tobacco, and some of it is air cured, just like our burley, so they'll call it dark air cured tobacco. And some of it is fire cured, and they'll use sawdust and smoldering fire on the floor in the barn and smoke it like a ham. I think when you open up a can of fresh coke, that's the smell.
Yeah.
That's how they do that.
You actually got some hanging here.
That stuff there had frozen stalks and fat stems, and we were trying to dry it back down.
Okay.
And it's not going to work. It's going to be junk. What's up? Y'all get done?